What up? What up? It's Big Cheds. I'm just uploading replays of my Twitter Spaces. This is episode 37 from May 18th. I am going to upload this in my Twitter Spaces playlist. Check out my books on Amazon: Trading Wisdom, Trading Quotes. Check out Bitcoin Live. And anyway, let's get it rolling. Here we go. You're gonna ask me questions. We'll just talk. We'll go over the market, trading psychology, kind of anything you want to talk about, and I'll do my best to answer your question as best as I can. So let's just hang on here for just a few minutes, folks, just a minute or so, and then I'll get right into it. Just as a reminder, I'm gonna want you to ask questions, so hit that button in the bottom left, and we'll get started here shortly. So thank you. All right, we're starting to fill up the room. Folks who are asking to request to speak, just hang in there for a second. I'll get to you shortly. I want to start out by letting folks know you can find me on Twitter at Big Cheds. Here right now, this will be obviously I'm on Twitter, but this is going to be uploaded later to my YouTube channel at Cheds Trading. So some of you folks who might be listening to this after the fact on my YouTube channel at Cheds Trading, you can find me on Twitter at Big Cheds. On my YouTube channel, you want to start by the masterclass technical analysis tutorial playlist. That's really going to help you kind of brush up your skills, kind of learn the basics of Eastern and Western TA, help you learn how to trade, risk management, volume, moving averages, candlesticks, all that good stuff. I'm the author of Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. That book is done incredibly well, and thank you for that. There's a free version of that book on my YouTube channel. Check out that playlist and check out pretty much everything else. Great stuff on my YouTube. I published Trading Quotes, my third book, back in December. 365 original quotes from me about trading. And I encourage you to check that out as well. I'm working on several other projects: a trading journal book, a poker and trading book, life wisdom book, sci-fi book, all sorts of great stuff. So that will come in the years to come. I'm also, right now I'm doing this Spaces because we have a special event this week. I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live, which is the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. It's the best team in the world that studies crypto, and I've been doing market updates there for 5 years. I do a twice-a-week full market update, Wednesday, Sunday night, and I do not skip those. It doesn't matter if I'm sick, I'm traveling, I'm on vacation, whatever. I get in front of the computer, I record an update. When you sign up, you get access to the content from all of the team, not just my stuff. And we have an unbelievable sale right now because it's our 5-year anniversary. You can get the first 3 months quarterly membership for $27, which is ridiculous. It will renew after 3 months. You can cancel if you want, but I don't know why anybody would. It's literally, as I said, the best team in the world that studies crypto. And even at normal price, it's a really amazing deal for what you get. Super proud of being part of that team. You can check out some free reports that have been out there in the past to kind of get a sense of what we do. We have the public blog, for you to check that out. So there's a link at the top of this Spaces. There's also a link at the top of the Spaces for like a new follower packet. If you're new to following me, there's links for like textbook recommendations, learning resources, stuff like that, like warnings, like I'm not on Telegram, I'm not on Discord. So just kind of letting people know where you can find me. And also, if you're looking for an exchange to trade on, BingX is an excellent exchange. And I've got information for that as well at the top of the Spaces and attached to the tweet. So that's out of the way. The room is still filling up. Only 50 people. We'll probably get at least 100 150 people. So what this format is an Ask Me Anything, and it's a great format for new traders to learn, because folks will come up and ask me questions, and we'll just talk candidly. Trade identification, what the market's doing, risk management, pretty much everything and anything. And this is episode 37, so we've got a really beautiful, wonderful body of work in this series. You can go watch the older ones on my YouTube, and these are just great to kind of just candid conversation, because on Twitter we're just tweeting stuff and 140 or whatever 280 characters. There's no real nuance, but when we're talking and I can hear your voice and you can hear my voice, we can just get a lot more done. And I just really enjoy this format. So what I need you to do, the folks who are listening, I need you to hit that button that's in the bottom left of your screen. It says request to speak or request microphone. And I want you to come up and tell me what's going on. Tell me how you're doing. Let's talk about trading. Ask your questions, and I'll do my best to answer your questions as honestly as I can. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know, and I'll be honest about that. And the stuff that I'm comfortable talking about, I'll talk about that. So we usually have a really nice conversation. We get a lot done, and it's kind of a great educational of great educational value. So I'm really proud of these. So folks, hit that button in the bottom left. We're going to wait a minute or so while we fill up the room and we get more people requesting to speak. So I need you to hit that button in the bottom left to request to speak, to come up and ask questions. I'm not just going to sit here and talk. If you want that, check out my YouTube. I will be streaming tonight. I did a couple of the other streams this week, but that's not what this format is. This is an interactive format. So I'm going to hit mute, and I'm going to wait until we get a couple more people who want to come up and talk, and then we will get this started. Come on, folks. You got to come up and join the conversation. I need your questions because it's those topics from the questions that help create the value here for the conversation. So please hit that button to request to speak. Let's go with question mark. We'll get it started here, Mr. Question Mark. We've spoken before. It's good to see you again. What would you like to say?
Hey, how is it going?
Pretty good, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Well, technically, as it goes. Times are hard in my country, but it goes.
Mm.
Neighbors of Ukraine and stuff like that. So, yeah, not fun in the economic period.
Sure,
Okay,
sure.
so to the technical stuff.
Yeah.
I have a few questions, yeah?
All right, go
First is
for it.
simple. What's your opinion on the whole debacle with Ledger, if I can
Yeah.
ask?
Yeah, it doesn't, it's not good. First of all, I'm really kind of a crappy fundamental analyst. I'm not like great on this stuff, but I can tell you my instinct and what, um, when the trust is gone from the customer base, that's not a good thing. And, I've seen a couple tweets where they talk about how, like, we've always been able to create a backdoor if we wanted to, and you've always just like trusted us not to. I mean, that's not great. So, it kind of speaks to the challenge of custody, the custody challenge in this space. Where is it safe to hold your coins, your hard earned, your hard fought coins, and trying to onboard people into the space, and even just convincing them for the use case of Bitcoin and how why it's a good hedge against fiat currency and all this other stuff. That's half the battle. But then you have to figure out, where can I actually hold my crypto? Where can I hold it and have it be safe? And so when you have a company like that a lot of people use Ledger, and for them to come out and say the things they've said, it seems to that's going to erode a lot of trust in their user base, and that's not a good thing. So On the other hand, I believe in market principles, and that may create an opportunity for other players in the space to offer better custody solutions. And I really do think the market will sort things out. Um, but I just think it's not a good look for Ledger, and I think people need to think really hard about where to hold their coins.
Yeah, I agree totally with you. The second question is a little bit to the politics with the whole new regulations in Europe and the stuff that the exchanges have to send all transactions and moves to the states.
Yeah.
And but on the other side, the EU said they want to drop from 33% the tax to 7%,
Okay.
which is still not worth for the loss of the privacy, I would say.
Yeah. 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 I mean, so I don't know like the details of these things. I mean, I can kind of try to speculate a little bit. I don't know exactly what's being. It's one of those things where you see a headline and maybe you think something's the case, but then you look closer and maybe it means something else. So I don't really know exactly what it means. I haven't followed that story closely. I don't know how you're going to verify like every transaction. I don't know exactly how that would work. I think lower taxes is good if you want to encourage people to do it. To use crypto and all that. But you need room for privacy and anonymity, and I think that's kind of a major benefit. One of the major benefits of crypto. So I don't quite know. I think there's always going to be a push and pull between kind of the people and the regulating bodies. The regulating bodies will want to kind of pull things back towards kind of into their sphere so they can regulate it, so they can kind of get a piece of it and control it. And the market itself, which is based on what the people want, they're going to kind of pull it away. So it's going to be kind of an ongoing battle. But to be honest, I don't know the exact details of that. There's probably some better spaces maybe that are going, more directly into this, by people who follow these things, much, much, much closer than I do. So I guess that's all I would have to say about that.
Okay, and a technical analysis question.
Sure.
How strong indicators are hammers, especially if it's, for example, 4 hour or 1 day hammer with
Yeah.
bottoming formation? I mean, for
Sure.
example, if you have like 5 candles with the same price, let's say,
Yeah.
or same move, and
Sure.
then a hammer,
Yep.
how strong it is,
So have
and
you
if it's
watched?
good to catch.
Did you watch my YouTube masterclass playlist yet?
Some of it I did, but I'm busy most of the time. But
Well,
yeah, I
busy's
did
good.
quite a few.
Busy's good. Busy's good. If you're I mean, this is a great question, and if you want to know, I go into this stuff in detail in my free masterclass tutorials. And with Japanese candlesticks, there's several considerations. And hammer's an easy one to kind of talk about. So, with the first rule, the most important thing with candlesticks is the volume behind it. So the strength of every candlestick signal is based on the volume behind it, and you want to kind of look at that volume in relation to the candle series. So, for example, we had a hammer candle on March 10th. If you look at Bitcoin, I mean, we'll just, for example, look at I don't even have the chart in front of me, but I know this candle because I've talked about it a lot. Look at like the March 10th daily candle. We had the entire candle below the lower Bollinger Band, and there was strong volume. It was like the most volume in the prior like 20 or 30 candles. So it had strong volume relative to the consolidation range. So you want to look at the volume behind the candlestick. You also want to use the Bollinger Bands. They work really well, developed by John Bollinger. It's a good guy. You want to use Bollinger Bands with your candlestick analysis. So like a hammer candle, which is a small candle body and has a lower shadow at least 2 times the size of the body, at least 2 times, right? More than that's better. The longer the lower shadow, the better, because it shows bulls rejecting lower prices. You want to use candlesticks with Bollinger Bands. So a bullish reversal candle, you would like that at the lower Bollinger. And when you had it on that March 10th candle, if you'll note, the entire candle was below the Bollinger Band. So it was like the price moved out. It was an outside of normal volatility event where it went lower faster than normal, and then you formed that candle. So you had the candle at the right place with volume behind it. And then you also want to consider context as well. Like, for example, you would prefer a hammer candle after several moves down. You'd want, several red candles leading you down before a hammer. But that'd be much better than like five sideways candles and then a hammer candle. Like that wouldn't be as good a signal. So the context of where that hammer candle is coming as well. So the context of the candle in relation to the prior candles, the volume in the candle in relation to the candle series, and the candle where it appears in relation to the Bollinger Bands. So a lot of stuff in candlestick theory is context. You could read Steve Nissen's book, the yellow covered book. It's a great kind of a primer, or a great kind of an introduction to candlestick theory. And also, again, I go over this stuff in great detail in the masterclass webinar series on my YouTube channel.
Thanks.
All right, brother. Thank you. It was a great series of questions. Folks, I want to hear from you. I need you. This is me asking you to join the conversation. This is me asking you to hit that button in the bottom left. I don't really like to spend this much time asking people to speak because it wastes time. This is time we could be spending talking about your questions. You're listening right now, and you're enjoying it, but you can help make this better. I need you to join the conversation and ask questions. And it's like, I'm not just going to talk. It's the questions that lead to the conversation. So hit the button to request to speak. I'll bring you up one at a time, and you will help make this even better. So Austin T, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, pretty good, man. How are you doing?
I'm hanging out there. I'm hanging in there. Doing pretty good.
Nice, nice. Okay. So my question is, what do you think about Bitcoin right now and DXY?
DXY is interesting. DXY is trying to form an Adam and Eve reversal on the daily chart, where the Adam would be kind of a V bottom and the Eve is a rounded bottom. So that's kind of been my view, and I've been tweeting out the DXY chart. I'll address that first, and we'll get to Bitcoin.
Yeah, DXY is kind of spooking me. I'm not gonna lie.
How so?
Because it looks like it wants to go pretty high.
Yeah, I mean it's below the daily MA 200, which is not good if you're a bull. But it's setting up to attempt a double bottom, an Adam and Eve double bottom, and it needs to break up above the peak of that consolidation range around like 105.5. It's making a nice little local move here. It dropped down to 100. Now it's up to 103. It's still got a ways to go. But it's looking like it wants to try to resume the trend, that started, way back. That started way back in the middle of 2021. We went from 90 all the way to, whatever it was, 115 or so.
Yeah.
The thing with people get caught up in correlation with Bitcoin. They worry that, DXY up, Bitcoin down, but that's really not often the case. I mean, I think you have to. Sometimes it's the case, sometimes it's not. So I think you really just have to trade what Bitcoin's doing. I mean, Bitcoin's bullish. It's above the weekly MA 200. It's above the weekly reversal confirmation range at 25.5, completing that head and shoulders pattern. And it's kind of trading essentially the way you would have expected it to from a trend analysis and consolidation standpoint, where it made that 100% move and then it paused where you might have expected it to, right around 30K. And I tweeted out at the time that there was a short signal at 30.5. And so now we're just consolidating from that. And it's still bullish. It's just bullish above 25K is kind of the easiest way to look at it. I would say bulls have the edge right now.
Okay. Well, that sounds great.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you? How are you playing the market?
I'm just looking at altcoins, kind of on the sideline right now. Hoping for some sort of alt season or alt relief or whatever.
Yeah. Are you just like riding stuff, or are you looking for, like trading opportunities? Is it one of those things where you're just kind of like buying downtrends and hoping they reverse, or like what's your approach? How are you approaching that?
Well, I'm probably gonna. I don't know, because I'm thinking Bitcoin will probably go lower, so I'm just kind of slowly putting some into some altcoins right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've
How
started.
are you choosing, which altcoins? I'm curious about kind of your approach.
Well, I guess whichever ones have momentum.
Yep,
Um,
that's good.
that's basically it.
Okay, yeah, momentum's good. All right. Have you seen my stuff on YouTube? Have you checked out the YouTube channel yet?
I have, yeah. It's really good.
Excellent. I appreciate that. And consider checking out Bitcoin Live. We have that sale this week, and it's really just an unbelievable deal.
Okay, yeah, I'll check that out, man.
All right. Appreciate you, man. You have a good day, brother. Thanks for stepping up.
You too. Thank you.
All right, folks. We have some speaking slots coming up available. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your question. I'll try to answer it the best I can. If I have a good answer or a bad answer, I'll give you what I've got. I'll do my best. Let's go with Nishant. It's nice to see you again. Welcome back.
Hey Cheds, how are you doing?
I'm hanging in there, man. How are you doing?
Very good. Quick thing. I actually saw. Like the reversal. I do follow some of the Bitcoin mining stocks because they give precursors to the price movement sometimes. But seems like there was a quick reversal today. Does that like make things that hey things are gonna go down
So
again?
you want to look at some Bitcoin mining stocks? You're
Like
saying?
Riot, Mara. Those
So
that
let's
couple.
start with Mara and Riot. Okay. I mean, Mara and Riot, they're both still consolidating. Nothing really has changed in the last week. I mean, between the two, I like Riot better between those two, right? Because Riot has relative strength.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you the way I view Riot, and I often use this analogy in my analysis in Bitcoin Live and on Twitter. Is you think about like a red light. Um, it needs to turn yellow before it turns green. And obviously, I'm like street lights go the opposite way, but it's like stage analysis. So the downtrend goes sideways before it goes back up. And Riot has started to reverse. And when it started the sideways after the down, it set its peak right around 950. Right, you see where the price rejected in the middle of 2022, and then it rejected again in early April of this year, and it broke back up above it, and it used that level as support. So we just had a bullish throwback of that $10 level, and so Riot's consolidating nicely above a multi-month consolidation range. It looks good. You need to be patient with this. I think if it drops back below kind of the 980, 990 range, you can be cautious then, sure. But I wouldn't really like today's candle doesn't mean anything. There's no information in this candle because it's still within a very tight consolidation range. There's nothing in this candle that says like, oh, we're gonna go, back to like $6 or up to 14. Like, there's no really information in what has happened today, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of step back and try to take in the larger trend, and that's often really going to be a nice daily chart view. Marathon Mara, it's a little bit weaker. It's having trouble breaking above the peak of its consolidation range, right around 940, 950. It's kind of like right there. So for me, if I'm going to play the two, I'm definitely playing Riot versus Mara. But again, the same situation with today's candle. It doesn't really mean anything.
Okay.
There's no information that we're getting today that tells us really more than we knew yesterday on either of these two.
Because both of them had their 200-day moving average. Mara broke
Yeah,
out recently as well,
yeah,
and it's been, I think, right around its 200-day moving average. But I don't know if
yeah.
it's a false breakout or probably like it's gonna
Well,
go higher.
well, Mara hasn't really broken out yet. It's still unable to clear. It still has been unable to get above those September, October 2022 lows. I mean, it's still trying to kind of recapture that level. It
Hmm.
looks okay, but it's not as convincing as Riot. I mean, Riot's got a rising MA 200 as a bull trend, and Marathon is just sideways. There's no real trend. It's still just sideways. So again, you got to between those two, you definitely would play Riot. Mara, it's okay. It's not great. It's really not great. I probably wouldn't play it, but I would look at Riot. I think there's definitely some potential in that price structure.
Okay, thanks.
hmm You checked out my YouTube yet? You've checked out all the great free stuff I have for you over there.
Oh yes,
Good, good, good. All right, man. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
thank you. Thanks.
All right. All right. Anything. I'll do my best, folks. Hit that button to request to speak. We have some speaking slots here available. Good to see you again, Mr. Potato. What's cracking, Crypto Potato? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, do you hear me, Cheds?
I can hear you fine. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. And you?
I'm doing good, man. It's a beautiful day.
Okay, the weather is bad in my home. Okay, it's been a bad weather for 3 weeks in a row.
What?
Oh, that is quite depressing, huh?
Yeah, that's tough. It's some, it's hard. We're so connected to our, we think we're just, we live in our houses and we're separate from the environment, but we're not. And so it's hard not to feel a little bit down, when you have like bad weather for an extended period of time. So I
Yes,
totally get that.
sure. I would like to ask for a refund. We are in May, still raining out every day.
I know, right? Well, the flowers and the trees will be happy. They can soak it all up.
Hopefully, yes, hopefully I have a garden, so it's okay.
So what are you growing?
um, yeah, the easiest, the tomatoes and yeah, tomatoes mostly.
Peppers, eggplant, that kind of stuff.
No, eggplants are very difficult, and they
They're
are
slow.
small. Yeah. Pepper
They're
is very
slow.
small. You got to put a lot of fertilizer.
How about any kind of like anything that's vining, like any melon or pumpkin, anything like that?
No, because we don't eat them, so we don't grow them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the tomato is a good investment because the
Yeah.
tomato you find in the supermarket are horrible, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, and they are easy to grow. That's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have two questions for you.
Okay.
Yeah. First, I just want to just say that I touch wood, but I think I'm getting better at trading.
Good.
Thanks to mostly big part, but not only you, but the big part is from your teaching. I try to apply them, and and I, I know better when to trade or when not to trade,
Yes.
and how to select the token to trade. Yes, if it's been under MA 200 for a long time on the daily, so this not a coin I will buy.
Good.
Oh, so
Very good.
I'm getting better at this. I touch wood again, and now my first question is about journaling my
Yes.
trades. I still don't do them. I just sometimes I use my mobile phone. I just record the screen.
Sure.
Yeah, a screencast. I record the screen and with my voice, just a 1 minute video. What I see as a setup, why I your analysis after why my trade has failed, or when it's a success. I don't do journaling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a series of short videos I do, but I don't have a Excel a Excel sheet where I absolutely put all my trades inside and make to have some statistics. I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you recommend to do? That I do it anyway to get better, or this is the first question. Sorry, and the second question is about when you do the Bitcoin dance. I see a book. The background is option trading.
Yeah.
I bought the book already. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
And you never talk about options, but I know it's kind of trading. Maybe I will do it later. But yeah, anyway, it's good to have some knowledge. But as a trader, a swing trader,
Mm-hmm.
is it important to use this instrument?
Okay.
Thank you.
So let me start with the second one. That's the option volatility and pricing book. So that's
Yes.
So I tend to use options when I'm trading equities. And the
Mm-hmm.
way I approach that is I tend to give myself time. If I think something's, I'm not so much of like a weekly trader where I think it's going to hit my target or it's going to go up in the week or so. I usually give myself a little bit of time. And so that book is a very kind of heady, very kind of academic book. I haven't finished it.
Mm-hmm.
I started it and I'm like, oh wow, I gotta it's like explaining how gamma and theta and how all the Greeks and how they work, and it's a lot of math, and it's super intense. I would never I would never like teach a class on options because I'm not that good with them yet, to be honest with you. So it's a book I have that I'd like to learn more from, and I'll kind of pick at it over time. But options are fun, and what I've learned is that I like to kind of have not too big positions, and I like to give myself time. In my options trades, and that's kind of how I've approached that. But I don't have a ton of value to offer on like how to use options, right? Because that's not something I've studied professionally. That's not something, that I would lecture or talk about. But like a trading journal, a trading log, I can talk about that. I'm actually writing a book, my fourth book, and I'm actually working with the cover designer on the cover right now. My fourth book is called Trading Journal, and it's actually about why you should use a trading journal and like how to fill it out, right? Why I'm entering the trade, where the trade idea will fail, what my target is, what my stop loss is, how I'm feeling when I enter the trade, stuff like that. So I kind of talk about that, and I'm going to have different examples of trade setups and things to look for and all that. So I think trade journaling is incredibly important because if we keep making the same mistakes over time and we don't learn from them, like where's the value, right? Because the residue of any failed trade is a lesson yet to be learned, right? So what we want to do is try to gain back some value from our losses, and even the winners too. We want to get that extra value. We want to think about what worked, what we did right. So, you mentioned an Excel spreadsheet. That's a trading log. That's a log where you're literally just putting your results, maybe the trade fees, and your percentage wins and losses. But the trading log is the nuance, and it's what it sounds like you're recording with your video, where it's why I'm entering, how I'm feeling, what I'm really looking for. And so trade journaling is incredibly important. I would encourage anyone to do that. And I don't know if there's any really good books out there on that. So that's my next project, is book 4. It's actually literally called Trading Journal. So
that's
I
cool.
mean, I'll try to get it out later this year, but I'm working on a rewrite of my cancer memoir first, and that's taking a lot of time. So I'll have it out. By by the middle of next year. I'll have that book ready for you folks.
Well, oh, fantastic. So journaling, like I said, it's acceptable. So
Yeah, I think the way you're doing is pretty good. I mean, you're doing even if you don't go back and watch your videos again, your own videos, you're at least forcing yourself to stop and think and explain it to yourself, right? Like one of the things I talk about, like for people who overtrade, is I like to recommend. And there's a couple things you can do. One of them is like if you want to enter a trade, write down the trade idea and then go do some push-ups and come back and look at the trade idea again if it still makes sense. But generally the way you think about it is like it needs to be a trade idea so good that you could explain it to a skeptical friend. And you could walk them through why you think you should enter the trade. So like it shouldn't just be willy-nilly, casually, number go up, I want to ride it or whatever. It should be, prices revisiting, multi-month support level. There's increasing volume on the breakout. Now it's retesting the level. I like the candlestick structure. I like the candle body progression, like whatever it is, leading you into a trade setup. So even if you don't go back and like listen to your videos, at least the fact that you're recording them, I think is a very good step.
Okay, very good as usual. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Hey, check out Bitcoin Live, man. We got the sale going on this week. I think you'd really love that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Bye. Good to see you. We got some speaking slots available. You can jump into the conversation. Hit the bottom button to request to speak. Mr. ZZZ Emir Kakar. Nice to talk to you again. What's going on, buddy? Emir, can you hear me, buddy?
Hello,
How you doing?
I had to unmute myself.
Hi.
Hello again. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. Thanks you very
for joining.
much.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what's going on, buddy?
All good. Thank you. My question was about the Bitcoin and the alts correlation. So they're pretty correlated. But I have a problem that's, let's say we have a supply level above us. The altcoin that I'm looking has just swept it or made the uptrust, let's say.
Okay.
But Bitcoin is, let's say, 2%, has 2% to reach that level.
Okay.
So what do I do now? Should I wait for Bitcoin to reach an important level to look for altcoins, or should I take the altcoin trade anyway?
You should.
And maybe I get
Yeah.
it, stop, then enter again.
So there's something in contract law here in the U.S. It's called I think like the four corners thing, and it basically means like when people enter into a contract, a written contract, and they sign it. The only thing that matters is what's inside the contents of the contract, right? They can sign the contract, but if afterwards they go and make like a handshake deal or make some side deal afterwards, like that side deal doesn't matter, right? Only thing that matters is what's inside the four corners of the contract. And I often like to talk about the four corners of the chart. So, like if you're trading that altcoin, trade the altcoin chart. Don't worry about what Bitcoin's doing, right? It is true that when Bitcoin reaches a major level and pauses and consolidates, you'll often see money flows into Ethereum and altcoins. That's true. But no matter what, you need to be executing your trade, not based on news stories, not based on what people are saying and what you think maybe might happen. It's literally just information in front of you right now in the price, because the price filters out everything. It filters out everything that's already known. And whatever the price is doing inside of the altcoin chart you're looking at. So just trade based on the four corners of the chart in front of you, that altcoin chart. Don't wait for Bitcoin to do something. Just trade the chart in front of you, because you have concepts of relative strength and relative weakness. You have times where charts keep rising even when Bitcoin pauses. Strong charts can keep going. So like a chart has its own momentum, and you want to focus on that.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have you checked out my YouTube yet?
Yeah.
Good. Check that out and check out Bitcoin Live, man. We got the sale this week. All right.
Yeah, very good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, brother. All right, Sovereign. Thanks for being patient. How you doing, buddy?
No worries. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah. And how are you?
Good. I'm doing well, thank you.
I was curious what you think of the long-term Tesla chart. Is it starting to turn bullish here? Because
let's take a look.
It's been looking a bit shit, and I'm looking to build like a long-term position, but I also don't want to see that position go down 50%. So
yeah, of course. Let's take a look at Tesla. I don't think I've looked at it in like a week or two. Let's take a look. So when you say to me long-term, I immediately think weekly, right? So I'm going to go to the weekly chart.
Yep.
It's an uptrend on the weekly chart, but it's an unconfirmed uptrend because the prices dip below it. For me to be really comfortable in this chart to kind of buy and hold it, I would need to see it back up above about 215. Right? It's still got a ways to go because you've got overhead resistance, which is essentially lost support. If you look at in the weekly chart, you look at where the price dropped and found support in the middle of 2022. And then it tried to use that level of support again in October. It failed. And then when it bounced at the beginning of this year, it kind of marked that high. It rejected there, and it rejected there again just a few weeks ago at the end of March. So, for this to be kind of a long-term comfortable hold, it needs to get back up above, I'd say, that 215 level.
Okay. So you're more looking for a confirmation of a trend and not so much trying to get the best price, I guess.
I mean, the best price is a price in a trend that you can ride. Like if the price is trending down, you don't want to just buy it because trends will tend to continue, and bears have momentum on the weekly chart right now. And you have a very clearly marked series of lower highs and even lower lows. So, you don't just buy it. I mean, to buy something like this, you'd have to like really believe, quote unquote, believe in the tech or believe in like whatever. But for me, I just work on the price and the information in front of me, and I let the market kind of sort out that other stuff. It's not about getting the best price, right? It's about protecting your capital. That's what's the most important thing is to protect your capital.
Yeah, and also, I know you always talk about just look at the charts because everything is in there. But
correct.
But if I made dare to look outside, maybe I would take the risk of buying if we were in like environment like we were in 2020 and 2021. But it's not looking too good for the economy or at least the markets for the next 6 to 12 months, I feel. So I always have that in the back of my mind. So I think what you're saying is correct. It's worth it to wait for confirmation or lower prices and a reversal.
Yeah, I think it's going to be chart by chart for me. I mean, I think the market, generally speaking, will trend sideways for the rest of the year. But I've been hearing gloom and doom talk about the markets for a long time. Look at the SPX. It's a beautiful weekly chart, super strong. So, I mean, I've been hearing all this talk of recession, but somebody needs to tell the S&P that. It's a beautiful chart, That's an uptrend that looks like it wants to go higher. So, I just avoid, the more you get caught up in what people are saying on TV and all this other stuff about the fundamentals, it's gonna dull your senses. It's gonna take you away from the price. It's gonna take you away from the only real hard information you have, which is whatever the price is telling you, because that's the market's gonna sort it out for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you, man. Check out my YouTube and check out Bitcoin Live too.
Yeah, I have the master thing.
Good.
Already in my playlist, and I'm also going to sign up for Bitcoin Live. So look forward to
that. Very good. I look forward to seeing you there, brother. All right.
Sounds good. Bye.
Thank you, man. All right, folks, you can join the conversation. I want to hear from you. I'd like you to hit the button in the bottom left-hand corner so you can join the conversation. This is an Ask Me Anything. I'll do a quick reset here. Ask Me Anything, episode 37. I eventually upload these to my YouTube channel at Cheds Trading. They're a wonderful resource for new traders. Kind of to ask these kind of open topic Q&A sessions. They're a great resource for new traders. Check out the masterclass playlist. Check out the free version of my best-selling book, Trading Wisdom. I have 1/3 of that book available for free on my YouTube channel at Cheds Trading. Check out the market updates. I'm going to do another YouTube stream tonight there as well. I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live, the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. It is the best team in the world that studies crypto. And I've been doing market updates there for 5 years. We're celebrating our 5-year anniversary. And there's an amazing sale going on for the next 4.5 days. You do not want to miss it. So check out that link at the top of the page. Let's see. I think Boone is next up to speak. Boondock, please.
Hey, yeah, hi, Cheds. How's it going today?
Hanging in there. How are you doing?
Good. Oh, I'm well. So, new Bitcoin Live member. I'm super excited. I've been diving in. So, I didn't catch the one last night, but it's on my list. As soon as this Spaces is over, I'm going to watch it.
It's a really good one.
Yeah. So, like I had said a couple times, I've been on the sidelines. I'm diving back in, but I want to do a lot of, I just want to get a good feel back for the market again. But my question for you is taxes. How, there's all these tax software.
Yeah.
I have I don't want to use the word somewhat competent CPA, but I think I always kept a spreadsheet, just kind of old school, and then I'll get some of my statements.
Yeah.
I used my wallet where I was swapping a lot. It just got really crazy.
Of course.
So, that I do the best I can. I always kind of set a little money aside, not out of my trading, but out of just my regular account.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you is, have you zeroed in on any really, really good software that you found, helpful?
I don't have any off the top of my head, the go-to for the best crypto tax software thing. And I will say it's a moving target too, because I don't even know if regulate tax policies correctly captures what we're doing. And this is definitely not a thing where I'd be comfortable, like, like recommending what people should do with their taxes, other than like pay them, which I think is what you should do. So yeah, I just don't know any. I just don't have a great. I apologize. I do not have like, oh, you go use this, go use that type of thing. So no, I don't. I don't have a good answer for you. I apologize.
Yeah, it just gets real tricky, especially when you're doing the swaps, like
it's
SHIB
not
for
easy. It's like
Doge or this
every
for that,
transaction, every change, every this. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and you don't have, the one thing is you don't have the wash sell penalties like you do, in your regular trading.
Mm-hmm.
So it that's why I've just kind of kept a old school Excel spreadsheet with all my trades. So
good.
Yeah, I've checked into a few things, but nothing really looks real promising. My CPA gives me a death stare every time I walk in. So oh well, what are you gonna do? They did my bar taxes too when I owned my bars, so that was always crazy. My second question is kind of on the whole ledger situation, with the seed phrase recovery. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier too. I talked about the fact that it's one of the challenges of onboarding people to the space. I mean, first of all, you'd have to convince them, like, like crypto. There's a purpose for crypto, and it's a nice hedge against other investments, and it's a digital gold, or whatever your use case argument is. And that's like only half the battle, because like, let's say you even want to buy like some Bitcoin, where can you hold it safely and comfortably? And you think about all the mess we went through in the last year or so, with all these exchanges going down and people thinking that their funds were safe and they weren't safe. And now like Ledger, like one of the main hardware wallets, tweeting out, talking about we've always had the ability to backdoor, but you just have always trusted us not to do it. And it's like, what is that?
Right.
Like, what are you like, are you kidding me? And so that's, when you lose that trust, that's not good. And you need to have trust. And customers, people need to have trust. And unfortunately, that's the case. It's like where we're really just trusting some entity to, to hold on to our hard-earned funds. And people work hard for their money. And so it's just kind of a shame. And it's a moving target. I think what I did say earlier, too, is I think the market will sort it out. I think there will be better custody solutions and better education in terms of how to custody and self-custody. And, I believe in market sorting these things out, because there's a need for it. So I'm hopeful that things will get better on that front. But I will say it's pretty kind of scary what we just heard from Ledger. So
right. Sorry, I tuned in just a little bit late on the Spaces,
right.
So I missed that.
That's okay.
So I don't know if you you had already.
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, that I have my whole conspiracy fears already with the integration of AI, and
sure,
coming out, like, how long is that going to take to, really get into some of these softwares and have these security breaches, and
of course, or
even
replicating
so it kind
the
of freaks
voice.
me out.
Or even like voice recognition. I mean, AI could just very easily, replicate your voice. So how good is voice recognition?
Right.
So I don't know.
I started digging in on, all the Bitcoin miners has kind of been my angle of trading over the years. And I've just started reading a lot about the AI integration into the chips and this and that. So, the microprocessing chips. So now it's got me even more freaked out. So I'm just kind of, it is what it is at this point, I guess. So, well, thank you, Cheds. I'm just chiming in today.
Good to hear from you. Thank you so much. All right. Let's go with Apex. Good to see you, Apex. Patrick. What is up, Patrick?
Hey, Cheds. Can you hear me?
I hear you just fine, man. How you doing today?
Awesome, dude. I'm having trouble hearing you a little bit. You sound a little bit on low volume, but I think it's my fault.
I may be low energy,
this is the first time I come up, man.
Good. Okay.
And I just want to say, dude, you are the real deal, man.
Oh.
Like, dude, no, for real. Like, I've been listening to you for over a year now, and I gotta say, man, you're my go-to guy for technical analysis.
That's nice. I really appreciate that, and I hear that in your voice. And so
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. This is
why?
my first time.
We're hanging out.
And
We're just hanging out, bro. We're just hanging out.
dude,
Listen.
I just want to thank you so much for everything you do, man.
Wow.
And
okay,
I'm actually gonna buy the Bitcoin Live thing this week.
You got to. It's unbelievable.
I'm gonna do it, man. I think it's worth it. So
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I just I'm a little bit concerned, like this last lady said, with the whole situation with Ledger. I'm sure a lot of people are freaking out.
Yes.
I just would like your honest advice on what, people in this kind of situation should do, man. Like, can you maybe suggest
hedge? I would hedge myself, and it's interesting. It's the third question in this topic. I think what I would do is not store all of my coins in one place.
Mm-hmm.
I think whether you do keep some on Ledger, keep some on Trezor or whatever, keep some on some other hardware solutions, maybe even keep some on a hot wallet too, and kind of mix it up. I think, and it's unfortunate. And I talked about like just getting people into the space is a challenge, and then like, showing them, telling them where to safely keep their coins. I mean, there's stuff like Fidelity's now starting to offer custody, some of these bigger banks, and maybe that's the solution. I mean, it's goes a little bit against the whole like cyberpunks and the whole like anti-system element, anti-establishment element of Bitcoin. But maybe, unfortunately, that's the solution where it's like you just got to hold your Bitcoin like at a Fidelity or a Schwab or like a whatever. I think is you want to spread your bets a little bit, right? Because you don't want to have a single point of failure.
Yep.
Like people like really believed in FTX, and like I don't blame them, and I don't blame people who were shilling it because they believed it was legitimate, and they were, and this isn't like a whole thing in FTX, the spaces, but like they believed in SBF and they believed in what they were doing. They were convinced, and I get that, and it's like I didn't have any funds in there, but I almost did. I literally almost moved some stuff onto there because I was like, if anything's safe, it's FTX.
Same here.
So nobody knows shit, honestly.
Yeah.
And so I think a good approach would be to spread yourself and not hold them all in one place. I think that feels like the best.
Don't have all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah,
that's really great advice. Fantastic advice, man. I really appreciate it. And just want you to know, last thing, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I hold you in very high regard, man.
I'll try to I appreciate that, and I try to respect that and live up to that. I know people like, for example, have me on alert on Twitter. So, and this week I'm tweeting a lot because of the sale. But like I normally try not to spam or meme. I try to add value. When I started, people helped me out when I started, and that meant a lot to me. And so like on social media, I've been just trying to help new traders avoid my old mistakes. And that's just been my niche. That's been what I do. I enjoy it. I have fun with it. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy trading. I enjoy talking about it. And I love your feedback. It pushes me to keep going. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Watch your whole masterclass online. And I'm going to buy both your books as well.
Heck yeah.
Read those.
Let me know. Read a review too. Write a review. Let me know what you think.
Will do.
All right?
Will do. All right, bro. Thanks.
Appreciate you, man. Stay good. Folks, we have speaking slots available. Hit that button to request to speak. This Twitter Spaces will only go on as long as you folks have questions for me. Otherwise, I'm going to go pull weeds out of the garden, or I'm going to go, clean up the basement, or I'll go do something else with my time. For the rest of the afternoon. But I'm here right now. I'd love to hear from you. I'm happy to answer your questions. So I'll take a brief pause here while I wait to see if we have any other brave folks. And you don't have to be that brave. I don't bite. I'm just here to talk to you. We're just hanging out together. It's just me and you. Don't be nervous. Hit that button. Come up to speak, and you can add your voice. You can add value to the conversation. So I'm going to take a pause here for just a minute to see if we get any other folks who want to come up and ask questions. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up. So go ahead and jump right in, folks. It's your opportunity right now. It's that awkward pause, right, in the conversation. So I'm going to give it about here we go. We got one more. Let's get George up into the conversation. Folks, hit that button to request to speak, and we can keep this conversation going. George, why don't you get us you're up next, George. What would you like to say? George Kariman. George, you're up, buddy. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's going on?
What's up, Big Cheds? Dude, thanks for all that you do, man. I'm a big Bitcoin Live member. Great service. Everybody should join.
Thank you.
You got it.
Appreciate
just
it.
General question. What are your thoughts on the plausibility still at this juncture?
The what is
the
it?
The plausibility of like that 12 to 14K Bitcoin price coming in the next 12 months. Not something I'm waiting for or expecting, but it is something that always made sense to me. And I know you talked about it in the past, so I just wondering your general thoughts at this point. Thanks, bro.
I think it's about 10% likely for us to get back down there. 10 or 15 maybe. I think it's most likely the bottom is in. Not only do you have that deviation below 18K and recapture, but you've got the kind of higher time frame. It's all the stuff you talked about in Bitcoin Live, of course, but you have that higher time frame reversal and confirmation, breaking back up above the May 12th low and kind of completing that head and shoulders. I just think even, it seemed likely to go to 12K back when we were at 40K, and we came pretty close.
Right.
But the trend has turned around, and it's now an underdog, a real underdog type of scenario for us to go back down there again. So
gotcha.
I'd say it's unlikely.
All right. Thanks, brother.
All right. You got anything else for us or what?
No, I'm good, man. Thank you, dude.
All right. Keep hanging. Thank you so much. All right. Next up we have Mayo Tatra. What's going on?
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. Thanks for asking.
I've been listening to you for a couple of years now on Bitcoin Live, and I don't even trade. I don't even comment anywhere. I'm trying to now. I've been just watching, and it's pretty new to me to try to do this, and it's very overwhelming. I'm watching some of your videos. I'm watching the stuff on YouTube, and I'm on Twitter, and there are too many signals, too much noise for me. I don't even know how to set up all the alerts when I watch these levels. I'm trying to simplify everything so I can start. I feel like I'm just waiting. Yeah, and I feel like I'm waiting for everything to just happen while I'm just sitting in front of the computer.
Yeah.
For it to happen, like, oh, okay, here's the signal, and so I almost never do anything.
So that's fine, because first of all, it's good not to. I mean, if you don't have any confidence, you really don't have anything. So it's good actually not to do anything unless you're, not sure. But I will say you do need to build up muscle memory and experience to become successful at trading. And it might be worthwhile for you to start experimenting with very small position sizes. Okay. And, and so first, have you watched my YouTube series, the Masterclass webinar series?
I watched a couple of them, but I do need a refresher. Again, I feel like I'm all over the place. I've been a Bitcoin Live member, and I honestly didn't start watching all the videos until this year. I just kind of
so first of all, you have access to just a wonderful video library on YouTube. I'm sorry, on Bitcoin Live. I mean, you can go back and watch kind of how I've approached the market and how we've approached trade setups and the mentality. So there's a couple things to talk about. Ideally you want to wait for the price to interact with a key level, a major level, and a well-defined level. Because much of the time the price is just oscillating, or it's churning in a trading range. And you're going to get stopped out. You're going to pay the fees to the market maker, and you're going to send their kids to college, So you really want to be waiting for the price to interact with a key level. And then when the price is at a key level, you drop to a lower time frame to look a little bit closer, and you try to give yourself something to work with. You try to look for some type of a level which you can use to define your risk. I'm bullish above this level, I'm bearish below, something like that. And it's all the stuff we've talked about on Bitcoin Live for years. Not just in my stuff, but the stuff from Bob and Peter and Dean and everybody. In terms of my approach, classical charting and Japanese candlestick theory, I go over that in the YouTube series, the masterclass webinar, and I talk about setting up the chart and why I use the moving averages I use, and certain things to look for, and how to use candlesticks and stuff like that. So I would say brush up if you like my approach, and it's okay if you don't, because there's many ways to do it. But if you like my approach, all right, yeah, because I try to keep it simple. Watch the masterclass series, and then start experimenting with very small position sizes. Have a little bit of skin in the game, so you can start to build up that muscle memory, and then start using a trading journal. Every trade you enter, write down why you're entering, and where your idea will fail, how you're feeling, and start to take it seriously. It's not going to work unless you take it seriously. And it's like any skill. Like, you can't just pick up the guitar, and start playing Stairway to Heaven. Like, you gotta work your way into it. So that's kind of how I guess that's how I would answer that.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. It's really great to hear from you. All right.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Let's get Weiss. Weiss wants to join the conversation. Good to see you. Talk to you again. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, Cheds? How are you?
Are you really an alien? Is that true?
I like to think so. So I just want to know. I want to thought provoke you for a second, and then ask you a question. Yeah, no, it's simple. It's like, so. Assuming that maybe 32K was a local top. It seems like a lot of people on crypto Twitter, and you know how that goes, wanted to front run the idea that you know how that idea of front running of 26.8 to 25.8, saying that a lot of people were going to bid this up and which honestly it's showing. Yeah. And we had a nice little 27.8 banger coming back. But what do you think about today's price action? And if we reject 27K?
I mean, there's no real information in today's price action. We're still essentially just consolidating. I think just what's interesting about today's today's action is it's in the context of that deviation you just talked about on the May 12th day, where we broke below the kind of the local range low, where we dipped below the kind of 26.8K range, and we kind of got back up above it. So now we're still just consolidating back up above that kind of local support level. Today doesn't really tell us anything. There's not like a lot of information in today that tells us really anything more, than we know, or knew yesterday per se. I was expecting us to reject right around 31K, 30.8, and we did. And I kind of I live tweeted it leading up into it, and I tweeted out like, "Hey, there's a short," like when it happened. But then I shift into like it's a buy the dip mode, and I want to buy the dip at 26.8, and I want to buy the dip at 25, 25.5. And so we're still in that mode where bulls are in charge, but they're consolidating, and they're consolidating above the weekly reversal pattern, and that kind of trigger level at 25K. And we're in it. And what I said to the guy before about like trading range, choppy range, we're in a consolidation range here. There's no like super edge of like a trading today, unless you're dropping down to the 1 hour and you're trying to get really aggressive. You need volatility for a good trade, and we don't really have a lot of volatility over the last like 2 or 3 days, so that's not really giving us much new information. But we still have a decent response from that May 12th candle, and we're still essentially back up above the late April lows and back up above the late March lows. And as long as that remains the case, bulls are looking pretty good.
And that makes sense. And I think that if we do hit 25K, there's going to be a strong reaction there to the upside, assuming so. But I'll tell you this much, and I'm joking here. If we do nuke to 24K, 23K, 20K in the next couple of days, it'll be because Bitcoin Miami.
I know, right? It's funny how that works, but Yeah, it's one of those things where everyone laughs about it, but it's sort of pretty much true as well. That the price usually tanks, during these conferences. So I don't know. I can't really explain that one.
No, appreciate it, Chad. Just poking fun at you. Thank you for your information today.
Thank you for stepping up. We're going to wrap it up here, folks, unless we get any more questions here in the next few moments. This is episode 37 in the Bitcoin BTC Ask Me Anything Twitter Spaces series. It's a wonderful series where I get to hear from you, and we can talk and flesh things out. And for the people who are listening, it creates a lot of value. This will go into my YouTube channel eventually. Check out tonight. I'm going to live stream tonight. Actually, in about 3 hours, I'm going to live stream on my YouTube channel at Cheds Trading. I'm going to explain some of my recent tweets, and hopefully that's educational and informative as well. We got one more person here, Quattro. Let's get you in, Quattro. Looks like you want to join the conversation. We have another one too. Let's get these last couple folks in here and we'll wrap it up. Quattro, what's going on, man?
Hey, Ted. Hope you can hear me on my headphones at work. I'm a big...
Yeah, barely, but what's going on? What's going on, bro?
Good question. I just wanted to follow up with you regarding the mask tweets that you tweeted about and how you feel after the movement in the last 24 hours or so.
Mm-hmm. What's your question?
What are you feeling now about masks that we have had a movement? Do you think it's gonna? I mean, it looks like you're very interested in it and it has relative strength.
Yep. Yeah, it's relative strength. It's bullish. It had a nice bounce off the MA 200. It probably is going to go at least to maybe the upper Bollinger, a little bit higher, maybe 4.9, maybe at $5. I think that's the next level to watch. If you look at the price structure in the daily chart, you see where the price peaked in November of 2022, and you see where the price peaked earlier this year in February, and you see where it tried to hold as support, and initially middle of March, and then where it rejected, at the end of April. So you've got that big kind of overhead level to watch. So I would say I think it's probably unlikely to break right through that. I think it would probably reject there, pause, and then maybe try to form a higher low, even off the MA 200, maybe off of like 430, 440 type of thing. I don't know anything about what they do. To me, it's just 4 letters. It's just a symbol. It's just a chart. But it has relative strength, so I'll watch it, I'll cover it, and I'll talk about it.
Got it. That's all I had for now. I know that it's usually when you tweet about a random coin, it has relative strength, and it's definitely something that you're watching. So that always kind of piques my interest a little bit. Thank you.
Heck yeah. I appreciate you, man. Check out my YouTube and definitely consider checking out Bitcoin Live. We have that sale this week. It's an unbelievable deal.
I'm about to join. I am.
All right. All right, man. Check it out. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Last up, crypto. Shao B Tech.
Hey,
Shao B Tech. What's up, buddy?
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, friend?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good.
I do follow you on Twitter and YouTube regularly. I think you're doing a very, very good job.
Thank you.
Just a couple of quick questions.
Okay.
Actually, I'm a basic swing trader, very basic. Last year in a bear run, I made some good money. Good. I used to write the trading journal and got rid of a lot of my mistakes because of that. And I did learn it from you because you keep talking about trading journals.
Yeah.
So it did help me a lot.
Good.
This year, what happened was that I was forced to leave work due to ill health. I'm not doing so good with the trades.
Yep, I know that feeling. When I went through chemo, it was tough for me to trade when I was going through chemo.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of things that I'm not doing well. I think I'm always in a good trade, like 500 to 1,000 up. I don't close it for some reason. I feel like that it's going to go down a bit more, so I probably made more money and wait too long, and then I lose the trade. I found out because of the trading journal again that I'm making this mistake because I'm not working, and I'm totally dependent on the Bitcoin trade and from now. So what I need,
I have a good solution. I have a really good solution for that. So you want to design and I get this question a lot, you want to design your approach so you have flexibility, right? And you want to avoid a situation where you have to decide to either close out your entire position or not. So, if you can take partial profits, do that. And if you don't have the ability to do that, what I like to do is break it up. So when I initially enter a trade, let's say I want to put in $1,000 to the trade, I would do 5 $200 positions. Okay. And then if the price bounces, I could close 1 or 2 of them out, or even to move those stop losses aggressively into profit. You have to pay yourself for a good idea. You have to find ways to reward yourself for a good idea, because otherwise you're just going to be like, why the hell am I doing this? Exactly. Why am I doing this? Even when I have a good idea, I'm not getting paid. So you need to find ways and design your approach to give yourself more flexibility and take partial profit. Every time you take profit or you trim, off of a losing position, it makes your future decisions easier because it represents a smaller percentage of your risk assets.
Yeah, I think.
All right. What else?
It was okay just last year, but just because of, I think, work situation, I probably think that, okay, I can do a bit more. Maybe it goes down a bit more. I made probably another 500,000. So I think it's just like kind of FOMO thing. Maybe it just came back to me because initially I was a FOMO trader a couple of years back. But then, I think it's a good advice.
It's hard not to be a FOMO trader. It's hard not to. Yeah. Especially when you're having a tough time. FOMO is like one of the hardest things to avoid. Especially when you've been having like a tough run in your trading. So, it's a tough one. I think, I've just conditioned myself to really want to buy a dip in an uptrend. I don't really like to buy like a big green candle. I'd rather see like a red candle in a green chart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my approach.
Okay, I'll try to follow it. I'll let you know next time.
Yeah, try it out. Check it out. Check out my YouTube channel. And
I do
if you can, check out. Good. Check out Bitcoin Live. We have that sale this week. It's an unbelievable deal. All right,
I'll
man?
do that. Definitely. All right. Thanks,
Talk
Cheds.
to you soon,
Appreciate
brother.
it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, my friend. I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a wonderful Spaces. I'm going to do another one tomorrow. I'll do another one Saturday. I'll do another one Sunday. And I might even do one Monday. So I'm really active this week, celebrating the 5-year anniversary for Bitcoin Live. I'm super proud of being part of that team. Really, really, really proud of it. It's a wonderful thing. And you folks are wonderful. Everyone listening, thank you for joining. Great to have you here today. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I will talk to you soon. Big Cheds out. All right, episode 37. We're getting caught up. I think we'll probably have a few more. I'll get those caught up, and then I'll do a new Spaces, and then I'll do a YouTube stream at some point soon enough. Big Cheds on Twitter, Cheds Trading on YouTube. Check out my books on Amazon, Trading Wisdom, Trading Quotes. And talk to you soon. Big Cheds out.